Namaste everyone, I am Gyan and you are watching the session 21 of Java and Web, Generics in Java. In this video, we will learn about generics wildcard. Like the examples in the previous videos, we have two Java files, first.java and use.java. The first.java has the generic class, the class first, which accepts t as its type parameter. In the use.java, we have the class use. In the class use, we have the method main. In the method main, we are creating a new object of type first with number as its type argument. So the f is a reference variable of type first with number as its type argument. In the reference variable f, we cannot store the reference of an object of type first with integer as its type argument. Remember this word. If the reference variable f is of type first with number as its type argument, then in the reference variable f, we cannot store an object of type first with integer as its type argument. That we cannot do. But we can store null in the reference variable f. So only object of type first number and null can be assigned in the reference variable f. If an object of type first child of number is not allowed to assign in f. In some situations, this limitation of generic class may cause a problem. What will happen if we try to call the setFirst method, which accepts first with number as its type argument as the formal argument? We cannot call the setFirst method by using the reference variable f1 of type first use. Of course, we cannot call it. But by using the reference variable f1, we can call the setS method by using object of type use. And we can call the getS method. But we cannot call the setFirst method because we cannot assign the reference of the reference variable f1 into the reference variable f. The similar thing happens with the reference variable f2 of type first with string as its type argument. We cannot assign the reference variable f2 in the reference variable f of type first with number as its type argument. We cannot do that. But we can assign the reference variable f3 in the reference variable f because both are of type first with number as its type argument. But here comes the problem. We cannot store the reference variable f4 in the reference variable f. The reference variable f4 is of type first with integer as its type argument. And the reference variable f is of type first with number as its type argument. Integer is a child class of number, but we cannot store the reference variable f4 in the reference variable f. And here comes our problem. There are multiple cases when you may need to call the setFirst method with a type argument as child of number. And in those cases, the method called to setFirst will not work. So the method setFirst only accepts following as argument. Here in this example, x is number. So the method setFirst accepts same type argument which is present in the formal argument. So if x was number, then the setFirst accepts the reference of the class first with number as its type argument. The setFirst also accepts null as its type argument. But other types are not allowed. Even the class first with child of x means the child of number in this case is not allowed to pass as the formal argument. And if x is an interface, then the reference of the class first with implementation class of x as its type argument are not allowed. But from inside the method, we can call the method setS by using the reference variable f. And we can pass the value which is either the same type of the class number or which is a child of the class number as we were doing in the previous videos of this session. Calling the method setS is a different thing, but calling the method setFirst is very different thing. When you call the method setS by using the reference variable f, then for the JVM, t is number. So either you can call the setS method by using the number as its argument or by using the children of the number as its argument. So that you can do from inside the setFirst method. You can call both getS and setS methods from within the method setFirst. But of course, you cannot call the method setS by using string as its type argument because the string is neither a number nor a child of the number. So here we can call the set first method by using the reference variable f3 because the reference variable f3 is of type first with number as its type argument. So if you want to store anything in the reference variable f, then you can use a wildcard. The question mark symbol between opening and closing brackets is called the wildcard, the generics wildcard. The reference variable f of type first with generics wildcard as its type argument can store reference of any object of type first with any class as its type argument. So you can store an object of type first with number as its type argument in the reference variable f. You can store the reference of an object of type first with integer as its type argument in the reference variable f. In the reference variable f, you can store an object of type first with string as its type argument. You can store anything in the reference variable f because f is of type first with wildcard as its type argument. So in the reference variable f, we can assign the reference variable f1 of class first with any type as its type argument, and we can assign null. But now look at the set first method. It accepts a reference variable f of class first with wildcard as its type argument. Since the set first method is accepting a wildcard as its type argument, therefore at the compile time, the compiler is not sure about the type argument of the reference variable f because the reference variable f can accept a reference of an object of type first with any type argument. Therefore, by using the reference variable f, calling the method setS is not allowed in the method setFirst because these values can be anything. But inside the setFirst method, we can do the read specific operation, that is calling the method getS, which returns the value of s. So inside the setFirst method, we can do only read specific operation, that is calling the method getS. And write specific operations are not permitted. That is, calling the method setS is not permitted, except we are calling the method setS with null as its argument, because null can be stored in the reference variable of any type. So null is allowed here, but calling the method setS by using other objects as the type arguments are not allowed in the method setFirst, because the compiler is not sure about data type of f. So the compiler treats the call to setS method with non-null as its argument as an error. So ultimate result of this code is we can call the method setS by using the reference variable f of type first with any class as its type argument. But by using the reference variable f, we cannot call the write specific methods. Other way to use the wildcard is a kind of bounded wildcard. Look at here. Here we are creating a reference variable f of class first with a special type argument. Here the wildcard extends number. If we consider the number as x, then we can assign the reference variable f1 of class first with x as its type argument. That means we can assign an object of class first with number as its type argument in the reference variable f1. Or we can assign an object of the class first with child of the number as its type argument in the reference variable f. And we can assign null. So here in this case, we are assigning a new object of class first with integer as its type argument in the reference variable f. But if you try to assign the reference of an object of class first with a non-child class of number as its type argument, then the compiler will throw an error. Since string is neither a number nor a child of the number, that's why in this case, the compiler will throw an error. And of course, we can assign null in the reference variable f. So again, we can call the setFirst method by using a reference variable of class first with number as its type argument, children of the number as its type argument, and null. Inside the setFirst method, we can do only read operation. And again, since compiler is not sure about the class in the type argument, that's why we cannot do any write a specific operation inside the method set first. Only read operation can be done inside the method set first. Yes, we can call the write specific operation by using null as its argument. But other values to the setS method are not allowed from inside the set first method. This is another way to implement generics wildcard by using the super keyword. Here we have the reference variable f of type first with wildcard super runnable as its type argument. We all know that runnable is an interface, but for now just assume that the runnable is a class. If the runnable is a class, then in the reference variable f, we can store an object of class first with runnable as its type argument. If runnable is a class, then in the reference variable f, we can store an object of class first with superclass or base class of runnable as its type argument. We can store null in the reference variable f. And as we know that runnable is not a class, runnable is an interface. So if runnable is an interface, then we can store an object of type first with superclass of implementation class of runnable as its type argument. Maybe you are not getting my third point, that in the reference variable f, we can store an object of class first with superclass of implementation class of x as its interface. Maybe you are not getting this point. Let's understand it with more clarity. Runnable is an interface. The implementation class of the interface runnable is the class thread. We already know that. And the class object is the superclass of the implementation class of the interface runnable. Therefore, in the reference variable f, we can store an object of the class first with object as the type argument because object is the superclass of implementation class of the interface runnable. This is the meaning of this third point. You cannot store the reference of an object of the class first with implementation class of runnable as its type argument. You cannot do that. But instead of implementation class, you can use here the superclass of implementation class of the interface runnable. Go through these 4 points and you will get a clarity. So in the method set first, as we already have seen in the earlier examples, we have a method set first in the class use. This method. So in the formal argument of the method set first, if we pass the reference variable f of type first with wildcard super x as its type argument, then we can call the write specific method by using x as the formal argument. Because in this case, the compiler knows that x will be stored either in the reference variable of type x or will be stored in the reference variable of superclass of x, and both are valid. Therefore, here in this case, the compiler allows to call the write specific method by using x as its actual argument. And of course, we can call the read specific methods. Of course, we can call the write specific methods with null as its argument, but we cannot call the write specific methods by using object other than x. So here are few valid declarations. In the reference variable f of type first with string as its type argument, we can store the reference of an object of class first with string as its type argument. In the reference variable f of class first with wildcard as its type argument, we can store a new object of class first with string as its type argument. Because in the reference variable f, we can store an object of type first with any type argument. This statement is also valid. In the reference variable f, with type argument wildcard extends string, we can store an object of class first with string as its type argument. Similarly, this statement is also valid. This statement is also valid because object is the superclass of a string. This statement is valid because integer is a child class of number, and this statement is also valid because string is a child class of object. This statement is invalid because a string is neither a number nor a child of the number. The wildcard is not allowed at the right hand side. So if you see a wildcard at the right hand side of the equal symbol, the assignment operator, then you can say that this statement is invalid. So I hope you got all my points. That's all for this video, guys. Don't forget to like and share this video. Subscribe my channel on YouTube, like my page on Facebook, and leave your valuable comments in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.